Javid Yusuf in your screen. He's an attorney. He's a former member of Sri Lanka's Constitutional Council. Javed, thank you so much for your time. First of all, could you explain Anura Dissanayak's political philosophy? He describes himself as a Marxist-Leninist. What does that mean in practice?
Well, he belongs to what is called the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, which is a leftist party. But during the last 3-4 years, this party has formed an alliance which has brought in middle class and non-Marxist individuals and formed an alliance called the National People's Power. And it is the National People's Power that has contested this last election and has had this remarkable success.
Okay, so we will see if indeed he pursues a solely communist agenda in terms of addressing the country's problems. And poverty is one of the big issues. It's estimated from the World Bank that about 26% of Sri Lankans were living below the poverty line in 2023. So how does the president tackle this?
Well, it's like this. I would say that even on the basis of the manifesto that he presented at the presidential election, it was not a Marxist policy, but more a pragmatic policy with a mix of policies designed to address poverty, address inequality in society, and so on, but within the framework of what is generally called in Sri Lankan politics sort of a middle path policy. The poverty figures that you mentioned just now were as a result of the last 5 years of maladministration and missteps where the country had to declare itself bankrupt. But of course, the objectives of his party and his philosophy of addressing the poverty and also addressing the huge corruption issues that were prevalent in the last several years are top priority for him.
How difficult is the balance for the president in terms of the demands coming to Sri Lanka from the international financial system and the requirement of the people? Because quite often they aren't the same thing. And clearly, he has the people on his side right now.
Yes. That is very correct. That is one of the biggest challenges that he is going to face, because the previous government, the President Ranil Wickremesinghe's dispensation in the last couple of years, entered into an agreement with the IMF with various conditions which actually have made life very difficult for the poorer people. So his campaign had been at the election, the respective elections, that he is going to negotiate with the IMF to get better terms while sticking to the overall IMF framework. So now with a strong parliamentary support, he has won actually from the latest figures that almost 160 of the 225 seats in parliament. His hands will be strengthened to negotiate with the IMF and try to give relief for the people who have been suffering for quite a lot for the last few years.
Yeah, those numbers that he has gained in terms of MPs who will support his policies, quite an incredible result. Do you think this is a moment that will change Sri Lanka's political history forever, or will it just be a temporary result? Because it's so different to what's happened since your country gained independence.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there is a good chance that this is going to be a defining moment for our country, particularly because if you compare with the previous government, the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, at the presidential election of 2019, he got 6.9 million votes. And in this parliamentary election, President Anura Kumara has got, again, almost 6.9 million votes. But there are differences in the nature of the vote, in the sense that the 2019 vote was a divisive vote. It was based on racism, opposition to minorities, and a fear of security threat. But President Anura Kumara Dissanayake has resisted that temptation, and he has gone on a platform throughout the country of uniting the different communities. And that the people have responded in magnificent way, as the results show. So there is a lot of hope. And also the largeness of the majority that he has won in parliament, in that there is a danger that you might get deviated. But this party, the National People's Power, has been showing a great deal of discipline in the campaign after the presidency came to them in the last 2 months. So it is likely to be a tighter government where they will stay on track. And we hope that that will continue during the tenure of this government.
Javed, that's seriously interesting analysis. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.